This officer was shot on campus and has expired as a result of his wounds. There was a carjacking that took place as well in Cambridge involving a Mercedes SUV. That car was ultimately discovered here in Watertown and pursued by the Watertown Police Department. The pursuit went into a residential neighborhood not far from here, where there was an exchange of gunfire between Watertown Police, MBTA police officer, and two suspects in this SUV. During the course of that pursuit, several explosive devices were discharged from the car at the police officers. In the exchange of the gunfire, we believe that one of the suspects was struck and ultimately taken into custody. A second suspect was able to flee from that car, and there is an active search going on at this point in time. An MBTA police officer was struck during that exchange of gunfire and is currently at the Mount Auburn Hospital in critical condition. There is an active search by tactical teams from NEMLAC, from the State Police, and the Boston Police Department. The Watertown Police Department are involved in this search, as well as traffic diversion throughout the area. The most important message that we are doing right now is for public safety and the safety of those people in that neighborhood. We are asking everyone to shelter in place for the time being, not to leave their homes. If they see something suspicious, other than a police officer coming to their door, they should call 911 immediately. We also want to forewarn motorists that are traveling through this particular area, even though we're locked down in this neighborhood, that they should not stop for anyone and pick up anyone along the side of the roadway. What we're looking for right now is a suspect consistent with the description of suspect number 2, the white-capped individual who was involved in Monday's bombing of the Boston Marathon. We have a picture, a video from the 7-Eleven in Cambridge last night that he is dressed in a gray hoodie-type sweatshirt. He's a light-skinned or Caucasian male with longer brown curly hair. You've seen the picture. You all have it. That's the individual that we're looking for at this moment.
That's suspect number 2.
That's suspect number 2, the white-capped individual.
Suspect number 1 was shot then?
That's correct.
So suspect number 1 was the one the FBI
I just want to be clear. We will do regular updates to this, but right now we're in a public safety mode here. Our immediate concern is for those people in the neighborhood up there. We have an active search going on by tactical teams to locate and apprehend this particular individual. He should be considered armed and dangerous and is a threat to anybody that might approach him. So please, use extreme caution and stay in your homes. If you hear something, if you see something unusual, we'd like you to call 911. Now, I'm going to ask Chief DeVoe of the Watertown Police Department to just briefly describe the area, the neighborhoods, and the streets that are involved up there, so everyone is clear on that.
What's your name? What's your name?
We're going to let Chief DeVoe, so we're going to go through the speakers, please.
What's your name?
I'm calling on the Watertown community to be calm during this time. We're talking about the East Watertown, Dexter, Laurel Street, School Street area, to remain in your homes. As the Colonel said, we're going to be doing a search. Please stay in your homes. Do not come out. If you get a knock on your door, make sure we will have uniform officers there to assist with the screening and the safety of these neighborhoods. Again, the Watertown community has been always very good. We're asking for your cooperation again to assist us during this difficult time.
And there's going to be a controlled blast of some sort over in East Watertown?
No, there's no planned control blast of any sort at this time. There are EOD or explosive ordnance teams that have been up there that are in the process of recovering anything that was discharged from those vehicles. So we're making those safe at this point. Some of them went off, some we believe did not.
Do you know how many?
Do you have a name on the suspect who died?
We're not prepared to talk about identifications. That was one of the reasons that those videos were released earlier yesterday.
Where was he shot?
I'm not going to get into specifics about that. We don't have the names at this point.
Is he dead?
All right, listen. This is an ongoing investigation. We can't get into details on the descriptions of the suspects or the names. We're trying to get information out to the people who live here that they should stay in their homes and not open their doors unless police officers are there. There's a 20-block perimeter around the location that Chief DeVoe just talked about. We are concerned about securing that area and making sure that this individual is taken into custody. We believe this to be a terrorist. We believe this to be a man who's come here to kill people. We need to get him in custody. One thing that I just want to say is that there have been 2 police officers, 1 killed and 1 badly injured tonight. Our sympathies go out to Chief McMillan, who has a severely injured officer in the hospital, and to Chief DeFava of the MIT Police, and to the families of those officers. This is a terrible tragedy. We don't want to increase it. We want to be very careful of what we do here.
Folks, we've got to get back to the incident. And we'll be back in about an hour to brief you again as soon as we... Thank you.
I think he answered that.
Well, you have been listening to an impromptu press conference. The familiar voice at the end was Boston Police.
Okay, you've been listening to an extraordinary press conference in Watertown, Massachusetts right now, bringing us up to speed on the events of this night, which have been going on since 10:20 p.m. I'll give you the headline right now as you're looking at that picture right there. That man in that picture is believed to be the man we've been talking about since 5 o'clock last night as suspect number 2 in the Boston Marathon bombings. He was the man the police say was in the white hat. He is on the loose right now, and there is a manhunt underway right now to find that man. You're looking at a picture of him right now when he was near the finish line at the Boston Marathon. He's on the loose. He is believed to be in the Watertown area. That's a town just about 8 miles outside of Boston right now. Police say they will be going door to door searching for him. On the loose, believed to be dangerous.
If I could just interject one thing, John, which is if you are in the Watertown area, what the Massachusetts State Police and local law enforcement authorities are saying is do not leave your home and do not answer the door unless it is a clearly identified police officer. If you are in or around Watertown, do not leave your home. Do not answer your door unless it is a clearly identified police officer.
That is a crucial piece of information. No, a crucial piece of information if you live in Watertown, really, or in any of the surrounding towns. Now, this other bit of news. Suspect number 1 from the Boston Marathon bombings. Police now believe that he has been killed. This was in the course of the events of this last night. This chaotic scene that began at Massachusetts Institute of Technology across the Charles River from here. A police shootout there, then a car chase, a carjacking, a car chase. Police say that these 2 men in this car were throwing explosives perhaps out of the car as this chase was going on. 1 suspect was shot, taken to a hospital. He is now dead. They believe that man to be Black Hat, suspect number 1 in the Boston Marathon bombings.